surprised at the time? Were you ever saying to yourself, I can't believe how much money we're making off of one trade?
Viscerally, it surprised me every day. Like viscerally, every day, I'd wake up and be like, holy shit, it's still there.
By 2021, you're on the billionaires list, more than $22 billion in terms of net worth. What was it like to make your first $1 billion?
There's a time at which formally something has happened, but the writing is often on the wall before then. The first traders, there were people we knew. Like we sort of reach out to them like, hey, we built an exchange. Would you like to try it? And they're like, I guess, sure, as a favor. I think the point that like I started to feel like, oh wow, this might actually be big, is when we started to get registrations and it's like, all right, they found out about FTX organically. And when that started happening and we just started getting people signing up for the platform that we had never met before, that was when I started to feel like this might actually be real.
You felt like you made it at that point?
I felt like there was a pretty decent chance, yeah.
Now to the cryptocurrency crash that has traditional markets on edge. One of the largest exchanges in the world, FTX, collapsed this week after a chain reaction set off by a leaked document that raised questions about the company's finances.
FTX, one of the biggest players in the digital money markets, once valued at $32 billion, is now on the verge of bankruptcy.
Bitcoin really extending these losses. Like you run that crypto function on your terminal, everything is in the red.
The FTX token has fallen by double digits. The head of rival exchange Binance saying his firm would liquidate its holdings of that token, citing recent revelations. And as you may know, FTX chief Sambankman-fried responded by saying his exchange is fine.
The opaque nature of this Binance versus Sambankman-fried is, I find, disconcerting.
$6 billion. That's how much investors sold off over a 3-day period, leaving the company scrambling for cash and ultimately agreeing to sell non-U.S. operations to Binance. But then they backed out of the deal, saying that the company's finances could not be saved.
Binance come out and announced this as a non-binding agreement initially, saying, you know, look, we want to do this deal. It's non-binding. That might have been a red flag for a lot of people. And then a few hours later, we see the whole thing come unraveled.
Both Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal reporting a multi-billion-dollar shortfall. Binance responded to this, saying that the issues are beyond our control or ability to help. Very bad news for FTX. Bad news for all of crypto.
A-list celebrities and athletes facing a high-profile legal battle after serving as faces for a crypto company, FTX, that just filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The multi-billion-dollar class action lawsuit accuses FTX, its former CEO, and around a dozen celebrities of causing some $11 billion in U.S. investor losses.
You ask yourself the question, number one, how can we foolishly allow ourselves to be back in this position once again, where we have to even have the conversation about potential contagion? Why is there no regulation in the crypto market? Where is the legislation for that?
And joining me now is Sambankman-fried. He's the CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX. You may have seen their TV ads occasionally, and one of America's youngest billionaires. And recently he's used that money to become one of the biggest donors in this year's midterm elections. Sam, nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Of course.
There are going to be some people who watch this and say, rich guy's got his own agenda here. He's not telling us. Why shouldn't folks be a little bit skeptical of your real motives here? That this is really all about crypto. This is really all about your business, which is regulating what you do.
Right. It's a good question. And frankly, everyone should always be skeptical of things like this, right? I'm not going to tell people that they should give anyone a free pass on it. Look at the evidence, try and trace out what's happening.
People aren't taking you at your word?
People aren't taking me at my word, and I understand that. And I think what I'd say is then do the research. You know, look at the policies that I'm supporting, the candidates that I'm supporting. Many of these people, I have no idea what their position is on crypto.
Okay, but you now will have lawmakers return your calls a lot easier than the average person, right? So your money is effective in that respect, and you are going to be able to make your case in front of members of Congress because you're willing to spend money.
Thank you, Chair Waters, Ranking Member McHenry, and all the members of the committee for having me here today to testify. It's an honor to be here. The first is that I think that the industry has the potential to improve a lot of people's lives.
FTX Digital Markets has left positive footprints throughout the Bahamas. Today, they continue to make positive impressions with the groundbreaking for their new headquarters. Already, they have employed good number of behavioral experts